Hello everyone, welcome to my channel once again, and I remain your one and only comrade Cassava.
Hey, you want to make a bit of money? You should do what I did. Get into farming.
So I promised you guys something today, but I need to do something different. It's important that I don't just state the results of my last farming season. I need to state also the process. I need to tell you what I did, how I did it, and some of the challenges and some of the solutions I preferred during my last farming season. So it's important I mention that before we start anything today. Sorry, I don't want to be moving my hands too much because the other video didn't really come out as I would have liked. So I won't be moving my hands too much. I'll just try to move my body a bit. You understand? So bear with me, please, because I'm very active. I like to move myself. You understand? As a active guy. So let me go directly into it. So I started my farming around August last year, that is August 2023. And first thing I had to do was I had to secure a location. So the location that I secured, there were two places that I checked. The first place that I checked was good. The second place too I checked was also good. So the difference between the first place and the second place was that the first place was bigger and it was easier to manage in terms of like there was someone on ground that was ready to help me to manage the farm. So but the second place, it was a bit difficult because there was no one on ground to help me manage that second place. There was no one on ground to help me manage that second place. Only the place was nice also. There was water and everything. It was like 3 acres or so. That was the second place. But the first place was in hectares, almost 4 hectares. But it had everything. There was water and everything. I'll show you the video by the side there. So you see the video by the side. I'll post the video of the two places. You see that there's one, that looks like almost bush. Then you see that there's the one with the water by the side too. So that's about the places. So I decided to go for the first place because I like to think ahead. So I didn't just look at what's the location. I had to think of how do I manage this farm because I won't be staying on the farm. I didn't plan to stay on the farm. My plan is that I go to the farm. I go to the farm once in a while just to check on progress. It's not like I plan to stay in the farm. I explained to you in my previous video. That's why I say you should go and watch my previous video. I have a 9 to 5. I have a 9 to 5 that I'm doing. So this having a farm is like a side hustle for me. You understand? So at least to earn some extra income and at least test the ground because I'll soon go fully into it. But for now, I'm just focusing on my 9 to 5 and also balancing it with agriculture, having good hands to manage my farm for me. So I went for the first place. So the first place is almost like 4 hectares. Now the first problem I had is there is no way of measuring the size of this plot. Now I have experience, real estate experience to some level, so I just use my eyes to judge the size because I've been going to different places, spotting plots and everything. So I know an ideal plot how it should look like. I know how big it should be and stuff like that. So I just use my eyes. At least for some people that don't know, one plot is like 600. I don't know how to put it in mathematical term, but I know that an acre is 6 plots, an hectare is 2.5 acres. So when an hectare is 2.5 acres and an acre is 6 plots, we are looking at an hectare being almost 15 plots. An hectare almost being 15 plots of land. That is how an hectare is almost. So those are the things I was checking out for. So that is how I used to judge it. So that's that about the site inspection. I decided because it's easy to manage, so I went for the first one. Yeah. So secondly, I decided to plant cassava first. Yeah, because that was the main goal. That is why I named myself Comrade Cassava. My first interest is just to plant cassava, so I planted cassava. But the issue now was that when I planted cassava, I planted it deep into the rainy season. Remember that I told you that I sourced for the land in August. So around August, we are entering the second phase of the rainy season. That is, you are having rains from August, September, October. No, from ending of August to September, October, then November. The rainy seasons end November. So that was the issue I faced. The issue I faced was that I was planting it almost deep into the rainy season. That was like earlier ending of August. So when the rains came, they spoiled the cassava because it's cassava doesn't really grow well under heavy rainfall. So when you're planting cassava for the first time, it has to be planted in dry soil, not soil that is very, very mushy and wet. It's really stunts the growth or prevent the cassava from really doing well. So the cassava I planted, in less than 1 month or so, I discovered that it wasn't going to do well, So I had to just leave the cassava and just see what could happen, how far it could grow or what I could get from it. But at the end of the day, I didn't get anything from the cassava. So, but being a fast-thinking person as I am, I didn't want to waste the raining season opportunity. So I decided to abandon the cassava immediately and go get maize from the Ministry of Agriculture. I will post the video here. So you see the video here. I went to the Ministry of Agriculture in Lagos State, entered the building. Then I noticed that it was Phoenix County, but when you enter, you see some people buying, day-old chicks. They're buying birds. Like young people prefer to do more of animal farming than actually crop farming, because I don't think young people have that patience again. Even me too, I had to develop patience in this farm, because at some point I was like, how am I even doing crop farming? But I'm thinking long term. I'm not thinking short term. So I just stuck to the crop farming. But I also moved to animal farm. Sure. So it's not like move. I'll soon diversify. Yeah. I'll soon diversify into animal farming. So I went to buy the seeds. Then after buying the seeds, we planted. And then I started thinking, okay, if this rainy season was to subside, that means if the rainy season was to end early, what do I do? I started thinking of how to get irrigation equipment, so how to create some sort of irrigation for my farm. So I created a device. So you can see the device, you see the device here. I created this device. So I created the device. I saw it from one Hindu post. I saw it from one Hindu post, and the Hindu post, they're like, that this thing works, because they're pushing it inside well, they're digging it. I know the water was coming out, but when I created it, I spent some money on it, sure, but it wasn't too expensive. So when I created it, it didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work for me, because it's fake. And even as someone that studied physics, I don't know why I was so foolish enough to believe that, because simple fluid fluid mechanics, that the device was bound not to work, because it's too distant. It needs pressure to bring it up, and the pressure of just no, that's not enough. So I then stumbled upon a ramp pump. So forget about that device that I created, failed. But the good thing that came out from it was that I was able to find a device that actually works. So this ramp pump, you don't need electricity, you don't need gas, you don't need any form, you don't need anything. It's just natural. So it's just natural movements of the parts that creates that forceful action, that makes the water to pump up. So the ramp pump is like a major breakthrough. People are applying it in their different farmlands, where you don't need any sort of fuel or anything, no need generator to pump your water. It's just natural. You create it, and it's easy to create. There are different versions of it. You can decide to create the ones with 3 waves, 4 waves. Very, very fantastic something. You can check it out if you have the time. So, wow, I need to rush this video because I didn't want to spend so much time on this video. But there's a lot to talk about. I'm trying to explain a whole 4 months or almost 6 months work in under few minutes. So sorry, I wrote some points down that I am checking in order to really be able to go straight to the point.